Alrighty, last week we covered the fairly popular furry visual novel about Monster Hunter. This week let's cover the fairly popular furry visual novel about Pokemon. Adults only, adults only, adults only. I can't even link the store page for this one because the store is just covered in pictures that I cannot link to directly. Every part of your body throbs with pain. Good start. Got throb in there in the first line. The sound of rolling thunder. That's not what it says. I'm lying. The sound of thunder rolls across the gray skies. You can feel something wet drip down your nose. As it runs across your bruised lips, you pick out the metallic taste of your blood mixed with the rain. Something loud crashes above you, showering splinters of wood all over you. The rain grows heavier, each drop beating against your matted fur. Oh, we're not human. That's a surprise, given half of the games that seem to start this way. The warmth begins to drain from your limbs, washed away by a creeping chill. I was immediately primed for it to be like a My Wolf, where you are a human who is wounded and or has amnesia and are then nursed to health by large Bara men, and you wake up in one of their beds, and so on, and that's how the game starts. The rest might still happen. We're something other than a human, at least. Numbness is setting in. The cold wind soaks away your aches. You prepare yourself to welcome the embrace of unconsciousness, yet your lungs demand one last complaint. Who's there? Something shuffles nearby. Your swollen eyes make it difficult to see. A kid. A hand shakes you gently. Lord have mercy. You see something red above you. Are you okay? What the hell? There's no other footprints. You fall from the tree? There's no way. It's dead. He couldn't have climbed up there without breaking. Damn, he's barely breathing. Hold on. Going to be okay. The remnants of the stranger's warmth envelops you. It feels like he's hugging you as he wraps his cloak around your naked form. The world jostles as your limp body rises off the ground, the cold, hard ground. I'm choking up a little bit here. You barely weigh anything, even soaking wet. Your eyes swell shut all the way. Unconsciousness takes you quietly into the darkness, and the world around you fades away. Your eyes open and you immediately shut them as you feel an overwhelming pain in your skull. With blurry vision, you rub your eyes and try to focus away from the splitting headache. You find yourself clothed and in an unfamiliar bed. Actually, nothing seems familiar at all. As you look around, you spot a large red tiger standing at the doorway of the room. Oh! The tiger is the Incineroar. I'm an Arcanine. That's me, isn't it? That's what, okay. I was thrown. I'm like, who's this Arcanine walking in? Are we gonna get introduced? So we play as an Arcanine in this game. Huh? Easy there, cub. Where am I? You're at the one and only Flaming Flagon, the finest tavern in the town of Felda. I'm Gunther, the owner. Found you at death's door on the outskirts of town. You remember anything? I think my name is Fen. My name is Fen, I think. I don't really remember anything else, except I was on the ground. Everything hurts. It looked like you fell out of a tree. What you doing out there? The wilderness is no place for a cub like you. I'm sorry. I don't know. Alright, no need to get upset. How did I get here? I carried you all the way back. You were naked, so I put you in some of my old clothes. Thank you. You've been sleeping for 2 days since I brought you back. Can you stand? So I might be 90% correct. I mean, it's not a wolf and we're not human, but we are being nursed to health by a Bara man, and we were wounded and don't have any memories. You push yourself up from the bed and try your legs. As soon as you set yourself upon them, your limbs betray you, and you stumble forward. Oh there, I gotcha. The tiger's strong arms guide you back onto the bed. Everything's still hurt. Apparently your full strength has yet to return. Do you know where you live? Or if you have any family? The puzzled look on your face tells Gunther's answer. Tears begin to well up on your eyes. I feel like people should say in. The more you try to remember, the more confused and frustrated you become. I can't just abandon someone with amnesia out on the streets. Listen, I'll let you stay here, but you're gonna have to earn your keep. I run a tavern, not a charity. The promise of somewhere to be, and Gunther's generosity causes your tears to fade. Thank you, Gunther. Doesn't look like you can walk yet. Rest here for a bit. Let me know if you remember anything. Okay, I will. I'll check on you later. Gunther? Thanks again for saving my life. Oh, be careful. You might not feel the same after I put you to work. Without another word, Gunther slinks outside and closes the door behind him. Your body still aches, but at least you can feel your arms and legs. Trying to remember makes your head hurt pretty bad. Laying back down, with your eyes closed, you drift off to sleep. Sometime later, you look at the window and see how it's now dark outside. Your head still pounded with dull ache, filled with hazy and disjointed memories. No idea of who you were, where you came from, nothing. You close your eyes and try to clear your mind. The sounds of glasses clinking paired with the rambunctious and robust voices cheering kept you from falling back asleep. Over your thin blanket is an old worn cloak. It smells faintly of burnt wood and cinnamon, a scent that seems familiar. Holding it close, the article of clothing provided you a sense of comfort in the sea of commotion. You soon doze off again, imagining as if you were somewhere else. Yeah, he's still sleeping. You hear Gunther close the door and footsteps fade into the loud crowd below. Next day. The morning sun beams through the window and strikes your face. You're able to stand today, though your body still aches. Overall, you feel a lot better this morning. 0 to 100 there. Gonna be doing more censoring this week. As you turn from making the bed, you find a naked Gunther staring at you. Good morning. Ah! What's wrong? You're naked. Yes, I'm on my way to wash up. What's wrong with that? Sorry, I don't know why I reacted that way. Maybe something related to your memory loss. Anyways, I'm gonna get dressed and make us some breakfast. As if your stomach has its own ears, it growls the last word. Ha! I bet you're starving. The kitchen is right down the stairs. Though I could serve you dinner right here. No, I'm glad you're back up on your feet. Get the fire started. I'll be down in just a few minutes. Okay? You watch the burly feline walk away to his room before you head down the stairs. It is important narratively to immediately front-load the incentive to keep playing, depending on what your genre is. Right down the steps, you find a sizable kitchen. A great long table sits in the middle. Ingredients and utensils line the walls. The fireplace on the other side of the table offers a view into the main tavern. You find a stack of firewood next to the hearth. Throwing a few logs in, you stuff some tinder at the bottom. Cupping your hands and leaning in close, you howl softly and feel the heat burst from past your muzzle. Oh, right, because we're fire types. Us starting a fire is just... A small flame streams out of your muzzle, and the wood catches fire. Ah, I see you have an affinity. Ah, sorry, didn't mean to scare you. He finished his shower or bath extremely quickly. What's an affinity? Really? I'm surprised you're able to talk and not know about affinities. Many of us have an affinity. Like you, I have an affinity for fire. The feline snaps his fingers and a tiny jet of flame bursts out in a wisp of smoke. How did you know how to make a fire like that? I don't know. It just felt natural. Also, you didn't seem to have any matches or flint to get the fire started with. Oh yeah. I suppose I always started the fire with my affinity as well. Tiny fire has grown into a smoldering roar. Gunther starts to cook breakfast, and soon the kitchen is filled with delicious smells. Alright, cub, eat up. I may not remember much, but I am an adult. Good. I'd hate to think I would put a child through so much manual labor. Manual labor? Yes, Fen. If you want to stay here, you have to earn your keep. So get some fuel in your belly. Today, we'll receive a shipment of ale and wine that will need to be unloaded. After that, you'll help me prepare to open the bar. Okay, I'll do my best. Great. Let's eat. Food's getting cold. You wolf down the plate of breakfast. It's wolf, right? It's wolf down. Now I'm curious. I'm like, I don't think people say wolf, right? Hang on. It's very cute. You didn't realize how hungry you'd been. Gunther chuckles as he quickly finishes his own meal. That was delicious. You're just saying that because you haven't eaten anything in a couple days. Well, it's still tasty to me. The patrons don't really come to the Flaming Flagon for my food, but it keeps them satisfied. Here, have the rest of my toast. The barkeep tosses another square of crispy bread onto the plate, and you eat it in just 2 bites. So, what will you have me do today? He just said you'll be giving me a hand with pretty much what I normally do all by myself. You run this bar by yourself? Pretty much, since I first opened it some years ago. I had a couple of previous employees, but they ran off for the adventure life, despite my warnings. For a life of adventure, I think? Is adventuring really that great? It depends. Some people who have made a name for themselves usually acquire some decent treasure to exchange for fortunes. But the truth is, a lot of them don't survive their first years. That many of them die? Yes and no. Some find quickly that they're not cut out for it. Some are killed, but others suffer fates worse than death. Damn. Getting the dark topics real quick. Worse than dying? Yes, some end up horrifically cursed or disfigured. The humans stuff them into these tiny balls. It's horrific. For all we know, maybe you were a fledgling adventurer who got knocked upside the head. Maybe. Who knows? But that is a very plausible explanation. You don't feel that's what happened to you. It's just dangerous, but high risk comes with decent rewards. I understand. Safety is the issue. Very much so. All I have to worry about is the occasional food and drink critic, or fixing busted up furniture. Well, for a bartender, you saved my life. Looks like anyone can be a hero. I guess so. Oh, we should get going. Terrace should be here any moment with our delivery. Terrace? Oh, Terrence. Yes, he delivers goods around town. He's a really nice guy. I think you'll like him. After cleaning your plates off, you follow Gunther out the back door. The back of the tavern connected with 2 alleys. I guess that technically makes sense, yeah. And a short path to the main road. I was expecting was like the back of the tavern was connected to 2 alleys, but I guess saying it connected works too when you're using connected as a verb. But it just threw me for a second. You hear the sound of heavy hoof falls clopping closer. A large figure stops towards you from the road, hauling an enormous wagon behind it. Terrence, just in time. God damn, alright. Gotta keep on my toes before I upload this video. Hey, Gunther. Large order today, huh? Yep, I've been busy renegotiating with all of the supplies. I hear business is doing good. Sure is. You need to stop by and have a drink sometime. I haven't seen you in a while. I've been pretty busy myself. Oh, who's this? The massive horse stares at you. Let me introduce you to my new employee, Fen. He pushes you out in front of him. You stumble forward and almost crash into Terrence. You slow yourself enough to stop a fire breath away from his massive chest. Finger breadth away. Pfft, what type of... I think that's a Mudsdale? I didn't play that generation. I didn't play the generation that Incineroar is from either. I'm trying to remember, because he's red, so you'd almost think that he's a fire type, but I think Mudsdale might be rock type. I guess he might be ground type, given that he's called a Mudsdale, I guess. My entire exposure to so many Pokemon is just furries, so far the choice of Pokemon is completely on point. I expect an Obstagoon. I don't know about Lucario, because Lucario is more Twinkie, and I don't know if the game is interested in those builds. Machoke, because everyone knows that Machoke is better than Machamp, because Machamp's face is weird, so it's one of the only middle evolutions people really like. What else? That's fine. Being so close to the horse, you can feel the heat radiating from his sweat-soaked fur. Terrence's musky scent floods your nose as you take a close whiff. He smells of dirt, sweat, hay, and the faintest bit of leather. And sweat. Oh wait, no, sweat was. Yeah, I'm insane. Forgive him. This is his first day. Nice to meet you. You too. Why is your face all red? Big. I mean, sorry. I'm just a little shy. Ah, cute little fella. Don't be nervous. I'm only so big from hauling this heavy cart all day. Okay, so this is the manic pixie Bara furry universe where nobody knows how massively hung they are or how gargantuan they are and what their effect would be on anybody witnessing them. For context, he's wearing a loincloth, but unlike the apron I have not censored, his junk is just sticking out and holding up the entire loincloth, revealing everything like a curtain pulled aside. It's not missing it, it's just powerless against it. And that's why you're not seeing anything right now. Yep. Terrace is a gentle giant. Don't let his massive muscles scare you. That's not the massive thing that scares me. You think as you stare at the prominent bulge from beneath the horse's loincloth. Give me a hand with the barrels. We can't hold Terrace up on his other deliveries. Right away. You both begin unfolding half a dozen barrels of ale and spirits, as well as a few crates of vegetables. It took a few minutes to move your items off the horse's cart. Okay, looks like everything. Would you like a tip today? As much as I'd like that, I gotta get to the other side of town soon. Perhaps next time. Maybe Fen could help. I think that means what I think it means. Sure. Something tells me he'd like that very much. Yep, it's definitely what I think it means. It's nice to meet you, Fen. I'll see you all next time. The horse picked up his heavy cart and headed to the next stop. Fancy that giant? What? No need to be coy, I've seen that look before. I don't know what you mean. You have much to learn. Let's start with rolling the barrels into the cellar. Set the boxes on the kitchen table. These barrels are heavy. Heavy for a fit lad like yourself? You have a decent build. With this work, I'm sure you're only going to get bigger and stronger. Alright. Gunther helps you tip the barrel onto its side and gently rolls it down the ramp to the storage room. Okay, here's where all the unopened barrels of drinks are. Here we fill the large flagons and casks to serve at the bar. Wine is on the left, ale on the right. That's easy enough to remember. Good. Let's finish moving the rest of the barrels in there. After hauling in the barrels, 2 crates of vegetables sit on a large kitchen table. Alright, like I said, I'm not a great cook. I usually just cut all this up and throw it into a soup. There should be bread in the cupboard. Anyone that wants a meal will get a bowl of soup and a hunk of bread in it. That doesn't sound too bad. Alright. There's a well back behind. We can get water from there for cooking and cleaning. I'll draw some water. You can start cutting up everything. There's a knife on the counter. Got it. You start on preparing the ingredients while Gunther leaves to draw water. Even though you cannot recall the details of your past, preparing food feels familiar to your hands. Guided by intuition, you start to peel and chop the various vegetables. Your muscles appear to remember how to handle a knife without cutting yourself. Each item has its own unique scent, and your nose is able to pick up each and every one of them before they're even cut. Gunther begins to fill a rather large cauldron with water. Your hands and arms quickly begin to tire as you only finish preparing the first crate of produce. You keep cutting them up this small, you'll never be finished by the time we open. How large do you normally cut them? Like this. The tavern owner takes a potato and cuts it in half, then slides it over to the pile. What? You can't eat that in a single bite. What's wrong with that? How are they going to get a little bit of everything when they have to shove a whole potato in their mouth? I cut it in half. This might be why his food is bad. I'll get this finished before the tavern is open. Fine. And go ahead and finish up the soup. Leave it near the fire. It's supposed to last the rest of the night. Yes, I can do this. Don't wear yourself out. You still have to serve the patrons tonight. Understood. Gunther leaves you to cook while he sets the chairs and cleans the bar top. The looming questions about your forgotten past seem so far away as you focus on your work for Gunther. As you cut into an odd-colored root, a bitter stench wrinkles your nose. Ew, this is rotten, better toss it. You throw it away and continue cutting the remaining ingredients. By now the water is just starting to boil, just in time to dump everything into the pot. I feel like that's going to be a thing that pays off later, like, whoops, you weren't supposed to throw that away, that was a key ingredient, but you didn't understand what it was. You give the entire thing a stir, but something still feels like it's missing. Sniffing the air, the smell of the soup seems bland. Your nose picks up on something spicy in the cabinet. Opening the cardboards, you find some dried herbs and a few peppers. Grabbing a handful of each, you toss them into the bubbling liquid. Another stir and you can tell that there's more flavor than just a moment ago. Using a metal rod, you adjust the coals beneath the soup so that the liquid simmers. You hear someone calling you from the front. Fen. Have you finished up back there? I need a hand filling some flagons. Coming. Well, we better hope that his improvising was a good idea. Good. Take this. Use it to tap one of the ale barrels here and fill these flagons. Alright? Gunther hands you a hollow metal spike with a ring. This tool is pretty straightforward to use. You notice the other barrels have a cork stuffed in the hole in their lids. Stabbing the tool into one of the unopened barrels, you hear a hiss of air blow out. Bitter-smelling ale begins to pour out from the tap and splatter on the ground. Crap. You quickly grab one of the flagons to catch the pouring brew. By the time you finish filling each flagon, the barrel is nearly empty. Great. You managed not to make a mess. It looks like I'm a fast learner. Or maybe it's because I'm the best teacher ever. Whatever you say, boss. I guess I am your boss, but you don't have to call me that. Okay, what's next? Well, the afternoon crowd should be coming any moment now. Patrons will bark their orders at the bar. You'll eventually have to take the orders and serve the tables. I can handle anyone sitting at the bar myself. Okay, it sounds simple enough. A mug of ale, a bowl of food, or a glass of wine all costs a coin. An entire flagon is 5 coins. That's pretty easy to remember. Yep. Let's have a quick taste of your soup. It's ruined! The chains that held the cauldron above the fire are mounted to a hinged arm inside the fireplace. This allowed one to easily move the pot from the kitchen into the side of the fireplace, facing the main tavern. I've been staring at the backgrounds a bit. I'm like curious how they're made. There's like a very clean sense of proportion in a way that makes me wonder if it's 3D modeled and then drawn over, or maybe even just 3D modeled and rendered in a particular way, or what. Like there's such a perfect regularity with like the stools and all the lights hanging from the ceiling and so on. You can see that certain in the background, like certain bottles repeat very consistently, but they're very like tastefully mixed up so that like you don't have like the bookshelf test problem, which is when whenever I look at bookshelves in games, I applied this like bookshelf test where I just look at how it's laid out, and in particular I look for repeating stuff because they're just constantly repeating bookshelves. In any video game, it almost never stands up to scrutiny. If there's a full like foot to head level bookshelf covered in books, you'll just see the same assets repeat over and over again, like the same series of books in the same order, because it's just one 3D object. And it's because nobody would like put that much work into that kind of thing in a 3D game, because you have to make so many 3D objects. But it still stands out because those kinds of games often encourage you to look around and in first person to scavenge for resources, so they're inevitably like practically begging you to like notice the repeating books and everything. So here we can see that there are a lot of repeating bottles, but they're never in the same order, so they made sure to actually like rearrange them all constantly and not just like actually copy paste each one, because that'd be really, because we pick up on patterns very easily as humans. Just like the way that we, like, you obviously notice that the lights are all the same, but they're supposed to be because they're lighting a bar. But it'd be really noticeable if they, if the same sequence of bottles repeated, so they're all significantly rearranged. But it looks like the same thing repeating, but with different lighting applied to it, which makes me wonder if it's whether it's 3D, or if it's, they just drew a handful of bottles and then, like, copy-pasted them everywhere, and then did the rendering by hand over that, so it would look differently based on the lighting you're implying. It's just interesting to look at. Is that one floating? No, the bar bends backwards on the left, so that's why there's two flagons over there. Anyway, this allowed one to easily move the pot from the kitchen onto the side of the fireplace facing the main tavern. I was just curious because the backgrounds are like extremely detailed looking. You grab a bowl from a nearby table and scoop a large ladle full of hot soup into it. Your boss takes a bite. You cooked this? What's wrong with it? This is really good. This could be bad news. Bad? Why? If the patrons find it tasty, there's not going to be enough to last the night. Do you normally sell all of your soup? Well, no, but I hate the thought of someone going hungry. I could always make more. You just may have to. The tiger devours the rest, even giving the empty bowl a few licks before he returns behind the bar. All right, it sounds like the crowd is here. Your ears perk up just before the doors swing open and a flood of people enter the tavern. Oh, what smells so good?
Gunther, I need my usual flagon.
Who's that cute guy? Does Gunther have a young boyfriend?
Everyone, quiet down. What the fuck are you doing? This is a bar. It's a place of worship.
Gunther's voice blasted over the crowd and everyone quickly fell silent. A weird atmosphere to set for a bar.
I've hired some help. Get used to seeing him around here. And if I hear anyone picking on him, you'll have to deal with me. Got it?
Hi everyone. He's so cute. Looks like there's a new attraction.
Where's my ale? Coming right up. Alright, Fen, just hang out in the kitchen and see if there's enough to make another pot of soup.
Well, what about all the orders? Is he doing orders or is he making soup? You quickly dart back into the kitchen, thankful to be out of the spotlight. The crowd gathers on, and you see Gunther at work. The big cat easily handles 3 flagons in each hand while working the spout with his tail. Damn, coordinated. Meanwhile, more people slowly pitcher. That's what I was thinking of. Sorry, I called the things on the bar flagons when I blanked on what they're called pitchers, obviously, that you pour from. Meanwhile, more people slowly fill each table and seat at the bar. As you gather all the ingredients on the table, you continue to study Gunther. Here's at the background again. Still, yeah, that's interesting there. So like those flagons look really, really consistent. There's a slight inconsistency in that the ones on the table look smaller than the ones that are hanging from the bar, even though the ones on the bar are further away. So those ones should look smaller by contrast. But I find it interesting that like all the ones on the table are facing different directions, and all of the ones hanging from the bar are I think like 3 of them, the 2 on the right and then 1 in the middle on the left, all look the same, but then the other ones are all facing different angles, like they're tilted differently. And I'm like, oh, hey, hello. And it's so consistent otherwise. Yeah, I think that 3D modeling is involved in at least some step of this process, but it looks like something is done to make it not quite look like it's just a screenshot of a 3D thing. Interesting. Anyway. As you gather all the ingredients onto the table, you continue to study Gunther. You smile as you continue with your prep work. Every once in a while, you hear the clang of the pot as Gunther scoops out a bowl of stew. 1 bowl quickly becomes 3, and 4. By the time you have the next pot filled, Gunther pops into the kitchen with an armful of dirty dishes.
I was afraid this would happen. Fen, please wash up the bowls and utensils. We'll have to go buy some more tomorrow. How's the next pot coming along?
It's almost ready to go on the fire.
Perfect, you're a natural.
Your boss returns to the front. Something about this all seems familiar. With the next pot cooking, you start on cleaning up all the dirty dishes. The night blazes by, and most of the place is empty after Gunther announces last call. As you clean out the cauldrons, Gunther stacks all the chairs on the tables and sweeps the floors.
Ew, they really loved the stew.
Yeah, there was hardly anything to clean out of those cauldrons.
Since we have to go shopping for some more bowls and dishes tomorrow, how about we get you some more clothes too?
Gunther, you're too generous.
Even though there isn't a dress code, consider it your work uniform.
Thanks.
You ready for bed?
Yeah, I suppose I am.
Get some rest then. You've earned it.
You should too.
I'll be going to bed soon. I just need to count the earnings and do some budgeting.
Okay, good night.
You as well.
You have to order more food if you're shipping more of it. Seem to have more ingredients coming in. Got a new throughput to handle. You head up to your room and flop onto your bed. As your eyes grow heavy, you drift off to sleep. You think about Gunther. Watching him work tonight, expertly taking every order down and serving multiple groups reminds you of something. You remember something about a house.
An extremely chesty dad. No, is that you, actually? It was where you worked. In the back of the house, while he worked in the front of the house. He was an older canine. You both worked in a small restaurant. He wasn't just any old dog. He is. And just like that, you wake up to the morning light beaming through your window. There's a knock at your door and Gunther peeks inside. Oh good, you're awake and dressed. Yeah, that was somebody else's chest, right? I think that was probably a father or boyfriend or some other figure in life. Oh yeah, I passed out right as soon as I laid down. It certainly looks like it. You're still wearing the stains of last night. Oh, I should go get changed. Into what? Oh, that's right. You're going to buy clothes today. You've got the memory loss bad. But yeah, we'll be sure that you'll have clean work clothes once we find you some regular threads. Would you like me to give you a bath? What? A bath, you know, to clean yourself with water and soap. Oh, you're not going to lick me everywhere? I know what a bath is, just not used to someone asking to assist. Really? It's a pretty normal thing. Hell, I help bathe Terrans every once in a while. I suppose someone his size could really use the help. Thanks, but I think I can manage. You sure? More hands makes less work. Feeling your cheeks burn more from your boss's order, you try to tastefully dodge the rising awkwardness. You know what? Taking a bath could take a while. I'll be busy. It would be busy if we leave too late. If you say so, I'll be waiting downstairs then. Sure. I'll be down in just a moment. The tiger left the room, leaving you standing there. Ew. His hands on my naked body. You shake your head vigorously. If I keep this up, I will need a cold bath. You collect yourself and quickly pull out a few tangles from your fur with your claws. Ready to check out Felda? Sure. Alright, it's a pretty decent-sized town. There's lots to remember. From the road in front of the tavern, you can see the tops of many different buildings of the town. The bright and warm morning's sun is unhindered by any cloud. It is a beautiful day. Other people start to appear, to open their shops and start their day of commerce. What do you look at here? A bunch of, like, cobble and brick buildings. Let's see. Different, yeah, I think every single one of them has a different stone texture, which is interesting. Because you think they'd all have, like, a similar source, essentially. Very, very clean lines everywhere. Let's see. They have metal crafting, it looks like, because they've got that entire balcony is made of metal. Everything else being wood and stone that I can see. That is a coffee house. They got a coffee shop over there. Is that signed backwards? I'm trying to read it, but I don't know if it's like a made-up language or if it's backwards letters that have that particular, like... There's kinds of text that have like a style where you make the letters almost look like crescent moons, so that one side is really heavily weighted and the rest of it's just little thin lines. The way that it's weighted so heavily to the right makes it look like it's that kind of text, but it's reversed, like the asset got flipped or something. But it's hard to say because I can't look close enough to read the text. But then I definitely don't know what the other sign says. Because there's a circular sign in the middle of the screen that has like almost like a cursive N twice or something. Anyway. Oops, did I press... Oh, I pressed the joystick somewhere. Oh, we can look back at this though. The Flaming Flagon is in clear English right there. Okay, yeah, that's showing that this is 3D models. I can see it here.
it's got a classic gaming thing where a texture has a detail in it that makes it too clear that it's repeating. So you can very clearly see that the floor texture is repeating in columns down the floor, and then there's kind of like an offset where the ramp starts in the background, and the dark part of the repeating texture is offset from this one, so there's two separate sets of it that don't line up with each other and so on. Okay, so that's kind of mystery solved then. I can tell what's going on here a bit. I was really curious because it looks like a lot of it looks shockingly close to like backgrounds I've seen in anime and stuff, like that kind of like fidelity. It was reminding me of playing Ico, Machina Lutris, which is a game I probably covered like a year ago in this series. That one straight up just has like 80s anime style hand-drawn backgrounds, and they're shockingly impressive, but I also imagine that getting that kind of art is making the game take forever to get updates, probably. I haven't looked back in it for a while. You hear something clanking down the street. Looking over, you spot someone dressed in a full suit of armor, walking next to another guy wearing a big pointy hat. What's with those outfits?
Who? Those two?
Yeah.
They're probably adventurers heading to the dungeon.
Oh. You have no idea what he's talking about. Maybe you should ask Gunther more about Felda. What would you like to ask about Felda? Well, obvious question, what's the dungeon, I guess, given it was just brought up.
It's the main attraction of Felda. Adventurers from all over come here to venture into it.
Oh, so we're like a delicious dungeon surface town. What's in there?
All sorts of dangers, but also wondrous treasures. The dungeon offers fame, fortune, and more to those brave enough to delve into its depths.
Ah, but the trick is being able to return.
Indeed it is, and let me tell you, a lot of people don't make it back.
What's that place with the colorful sign?
That place? Just some trashy bar.
Another bar in Felda?
Yep, no bias here. Because we attract a lot of travelers and adventurers, there's lots of places to eat and drink in Felda. But rest assured, the Flaming Flagon has the best drinks at the best prices in all of town.
So, what's the bar in that cool-looking building?
A rather pretentious place. They call themselves Club Zero. Stupid place if you ask me. How is it a club if it's open to everyone?
I mean, Flaming Flagon is exactly on fire either. Gunther opens his mouth to argue, but his words deteriorate into an unintelligible grumble. What's that stone building over there?
That building is the church.
A church?
Yes. I'm not really religious myself, so I've never really been. I couldn't really tell you more about their beliefs, but the priests seem friendly.
They also act as a hospital. In fact, it's technically the first place you ever visited.
Huh? You look like you were about to die. They helped bandage and clean your wounds. It only took them a couple of hours before they said I could take you back to the tavern.
And they did a little jingle where they go dung dung da da dung. I must thank them then. I don't take it that they visit the tavern much.
They do not. They spend most of their time healing and praying. But one of the priests is known to be a bit of a slacker. He does visit more often than the others. Perhaps you might catch him at the tavern sometime.
I haven't pointed out yet the actual sprite art. It is so fucking appealing. Like I'm already susceptible to Bara art in general, but like this is very specifically like they've got very, very good shapes and expression. I like the color. I like everything about like this layout. Really, it's extreme. This is really neat. I like the sprites a lot in this game. So where we're going today?
We're going to the market square.
Does Terrence work there?
Oh, you're thinking about him, huh? He's contracted by the merchants to deliver goods, and sometimes he's there to pick up deliveries. A lot of craftsmen here have stalls and shops there. You can make some business deals. But when it comes to produce, I prefer to go to the farmer themselves.
That makes sense. I can't wait to see what they have there. Let's go shopping.
It's past the main square. Got hats, a bunch of chickens. So animals exist in this setting. I couldn't remember if there was meat in the previous dish or not. I remembered potatoes and a bunch of herbs that got cut up. That's a little funny. Yeah, there's more and more tells that it's 3D. In this case, it looks like all of the stuff in those crates is a flat two-dimensional texture, and the angle is revealing that. Oh wow! I noticed it on the green and red plants, the green and red whatever the fuck vegetables that are in there, looking a little goofy. Then I looked at the bottom ones. I'm like, oh, those are just flat. Gotcha. That does give it away a bit more. I wonder what they did. Is it a filter? Is this just a thing that like Unreal or something can do? Can it make games look like this, I wonder? I'm just curious about like the trick going on here. Those are some proper anime trees. I've never seen a game look like a game with trees that look like that, or anything that's 3D. Well, the trees you can cheat and have 2D things pointing at us, obviously, but those are like very suitably anime in their style. So I'm just like, curious about a lot of the stuff going on here. There's always the possibility that the people that work on stuff like this just literally are from the anime industry and other stuff like that, because like I've worked with multiple artists before that just like previously were animators in a more mainstream field and so on, or even might still be, or commissions for people that are between jobs. It's neat. The market is busy as vendors open their stalls to start their day. Gunther takes you over to the stall, hanging a sign showing a spool of thread and needle. What's that? Oh man, Pokemon knowledge check. It's not a Bidoof, is it? I think Bidoofs don't have dark eyes. Zigzagoon doesn't have a dark face. There's like 7. Well, it's probably more. I don't know, maybe 700 or 800 Pokemon. They did stop doing 150 of them. When I didn't play them for generations, I thought they kept making 150 every time. So I was like, wow, there must be so many now. But it sounds like they make like 80 now or something. You spot a pair of pointy ears pop up from behind the counter. That's a bit of a grammar mistake, yeah. A short, middle-aged man shuffles out and looks up at the big cat. Whoa! Did not get a good look at all. They look like a tanuki, though, for several reasons. He climbs up to a nearby crate to get eye level with Gunther. You get a sniff of the short man. He smells like cottonwood and an undertone of something musky. Oh, it is a Zigzagoon. It's a tiny Zigzagoon. Do they have a dark mask on their eyes? Maybe. Oh, he's goofy looking. Look at him. Good morning, Murray. This is Murray, the merchant. For a small fee, he'll promote and sell your goods here at the market. So this canonizes the idea that age and your evolution don't relate. Because even before they introduced Obstagoon, Zigzagoon would have evolved into Linoon by now. By now, I say, as if they have a normal age for it, because age isn't really a part of Pokemon anyway for that stuff. It's just like training level or whatever. That is a funny thing to imagine. Like, do you just never evolve if you don't like fight? Like, if you just live your life as a merchant, do you just never evolve, or does experience even apply as a concept? Or are we disregarding those entire concepts, just being like, pick whatever Pokemon you feel like picking. Who cares? Who knows if there's evolution logic or not? I'm just hypothesizing for fun. It's interesting because I'm making up logic and wondering things aloud about the game's world, and I just talked about how the last game I played, the one that was based on Monster Hunter, maybe over-explained stuff and tried too hard to make itself fit into the Monster Hunter lore, and that was creating its own like friction with the narrative and so on. So it's kind of funny going back and forth there. It's like, it's not wrong to wonder, but it's also like, maybe it's for the best not to over-explain things, because then you have to like, now that's story stuff you have to deal with going forward. This is Murray, the merchant. I've said that already.
And are you here to sell this fine gentleman?
What? No, Murray, I am not. They sell people here? No, they don't. Indentured servitude has been outlawed for centuries.
I am only teasing him.
Sure, only.
Ahem. What do I owe the pleasure of not one, but two strapping young men at such an early hour?
Just looking for some new clothes for Fen here.
Oh, something tantalizing for your eyes only. I didn't know you had like that sort of thing, Gunther.
Okay, I get it. So it's that archetype of the old man that's extremely horny that is in every anime ever. Got it. No, Murray, Fen is my newest employee at the Flagon.
What? You've hired help? That's why he's in such horrible rags.
I don't like how you describe our work uniforms.
You poor thing, let me find you something clean and comfortable.
Just pick something appropriate, please. And keep your hands to yourself, Murray. The small merchant hops off his box and darts into the back of his stall. A moment later, he returns with an armful of clothes.
Here, these just came in. It's all the rage in Felda.
These are just normal clothes. You pick through the various articles of clothing. There's quite a few options. Narrow your choices down to 2 different shirts, until the softer fabric of one wins you over. Finally, you settle in on a set of clothes that feel comfortable and look like they should fit. I like these, but I wonder if they fit. Can you try it on?
Of course, I'll give you a discount if you strip right here.
Yep, that's exactly, yep. I know what this character is. How much of a discount?
20?
25.
Deal.
Hold on a minute. Don't I get a say? Well, of course. You're welcome to haggle. I mean about undressing.
Oh, well, I suppose.
As things stand, nudity doesn't seem like a shameful thing to do here, but... Strip for the discount? Do it! Fine, I'll... do it. For 30.
My. The lad can drive a hard bargain. Deal.
Murray bond up. Gunther bond up. Gotcha. Nice. Good job, Fen. That's the only reason I'm responding positively. You step inside Murray's stall, out of view of the entire market square. As you glance around, you see both Murray and Gunther's eyes dart away once you look at them. You quickly shrug off your dirty clothes and don your new threads.
Oh, these fit perfectly.
It looks great. We'll take them. Gunther pays Murray for your new clothes.
Thank you, as always, for your business. Come see me again if you need anything else.
Thanks, Murray. Actually, I'm also looking to purchase some dining ware, mainly bowls. Dining ware? Plates, maybe some utensils. Dining ware spelled W-A-R-E, right? Yeah. I was like, why does this sound wrong? Because I read dining ware and I thought he meant like a fancy suit. And like, so when he said bowls, I was like, wait, it's a weird thing to make a suit out of.
Of course, the Carpenter Guild is having a sale. I can get all that for you. I just need to write up a quick purchase order.
The merchant scribbles down a note and hands it to Gunther. And here you go. Gunther hands Murray a small bag of coins.
That should cover everything. I should be able to have Terrence deliver it today.
You're the best, Murray. Till next time. The small merchant gives you both a wink and rushes to set up Gunther's delivery. Bond unlock. There's a system here. Probably for routes? Because you gotta unlock all the scenes, obviously. We have to explore the entire roster. The market is set to get lively as you complete your shopping. I have a few things to take care of back at the tavern before Terrence arrives. Can I help with that? Anything I can help with? I believe I have everything under control, but you should probably go ahead and wash your work clothes so you have enough time to dry before we open.
Okay. He's so friendly and cooperative. He's extremely, like, just, oh, right, let's go. He's completely, like, very peppy. Very full of pep. Chock full of pep. Overflowing with pep. Gut bulging with pep. You return to the Flaming Flagon. Gunther heads inside while you draw some water to wash your dirty clothes. As you scrub the stains from your clothes, you get a strange sense of deja vu. Your hands feel like you've done this so many times before. I'm thinking a little bit about, like, what's that Disney or Pixar movie? Was it called Coco? That sounds not quite right. But the one with the Day of the Dead movie, like that one, the grandmother has dementia, and they touch on a real life thing, which is that, like, dementia patients can often have they can have moments of lucidity when certain music they're extremely familiar with is played for them, because, like, the part of your brain that records music as a memory is just, like, so specific. It's like a different part of the brain. It can just sort of, like, stimulate sort of things and have, like, different outcomes. That can be a therapeutic, interesting thing to trigger on. And that, like, stands out to me because, like, when I'm driving my car and a song comes on, sometimes I'll remember exactly where I was in my car last time that song played. Like, I'll remember being on the on-ramp to the freeway last time the song plays, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why would my brain even record that? It's like, what is this power of music? And so, like, there might be a similar thing going on here, like, doing these really specific actions might constantly tug at memories in an interesting way. Like, it's interesting to see how that's, like, being poked at as an idea. Also, I think he probably should have washed himself first, and then his clothes, because you don't really necessarily want to bathe in the dirty clothing water. But I guess it's probably two different locations overall. I'm just thinking about not wasting water, I guess, because you have to draw it from a well. It's like very analog. Like, you don't have plumbing. It's like the way that water is handled here sounds like it'd be you'd have to think about this, like the order you do it in. Your hands feel like you've done this so many times before.
Hey, you're gonna put a hole in that if you keep scrubbing the same spot.
You suddenly realize you've been rubbing the same spot for the last several minutes. Oh, it was a really stubborn spot.
Well, it looks like you got it out. Plop, plop, plop. Time for another sensor bar. Crap, he's early. Hurry up and get them dry.
That's going to take a while.
Stand back.
They're gonna use fire. You step back, and Gunther leans over your wet clothes. The cat takes a deep breath and blows gently onto the soaked fabric. Hot air billows out of his lungs and dries your work clothes in seconds.
Now get dressed. We've got to start getting ready to open.
I guess he just never bathed. They just forgot to bathe. He's like, if I change my clothes and wash them, that's the same thing, right? Got it. You gather your now dry clothes and change into your work uniform. Once dressed, you head downstairs to see Gunther setting down a box of new plates.
Help me with these last 2 boxes.
Sure. You follow Gunther into the backyard. There he is again.
Ah, Fen.
The big horse greets you as he sets down a couple of boxes beside his cart.
Gotta finish one more delivery. Farewell, as 2 words.
Bye, Terrence. You have only a moment to wave at the stallion as he trots off. Gunther and you return to the kitchen with your boxes and quickly put everything away. You spend the rest of the afternoon preparing soup for the evening.
Alright, that's it. Time to open up. Customers will start coming in. I'm sure you'll see some familiar faces and probably some new ones, too.
Is around the time we normally stop, but I figure I'll play out the second night, and that'll be where we stop probably for our preview.
But don't be shy. Get out there and introduce yourself. People love new faces.
You are starting your nightly shift at the Flaming Flagon. Every night, new and old faces will show up on the right side of the screen. Oh, there's gameplay? Fen is limited by his action points for how many interactions he's allowed during a single shift. Interactions can increase your bond with the character. Max bond levels will increase
increase for some characters as the game gets updated. Ah, so you can't go higher with some people's bonds because you can't trigger more scenes with them until they've been actually added to the game. Ben's action points can increase throughout story events and items. I wonder if the game gets extremely non-linear now and just becomes about just doing days of work over and over again, and you just kind of like explore people's stories as you feel like it or something. I wonder if this game even has like a main story or not. Or if it's just like a bunch of different characters like that.
I can handle the bar. Now get out there and take some orders.
Yes, boss.
I told you, you don't have to call me that.
Sorry, I guess it just feels natural.
It makes you blush, so...
As Gunther opens the Flaming Flagon for the night, the guests start to take their seats. Terrence and... mystery characters. If you click on the mystery characters, does it work? What is that? That's hard to guess. It could be the big bear that's chewing on a piece of bamboo, the big panda. That might be Lucario. If I click on them, do I find out who they are? Let's preview the other characters if I can. After finishing up with cleaning a table for the next group of patrons, your eyes casually wander over towards a figure seated alone across the tap room. It's Lucario! I'm so smart! He doesn't look anything like the burly, well-armed men and women you normally... Women? Sure, I believe you. There's so many of them. They definitely exist somewhere. Just right off camera over there. You normally see coming in and out of the tavern. Even though he's not doing anything that looks suspicious, you can't help but wonder how old he's gotta be to be visiting a place like this unattended. He seems happily distracted, looking down at a small object he's turning over in his paw, with a glint in his eye. Hello there, sir. Welcome to the Flaming Flagon. That was a Freudian slip. Jesus.
Hello there.
He quickly stows the object away, out of your sight.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I just got into Felda yesterday, and I hear that the local watering holes around here have gotten great service. So, I just couldn't wait to try a place like this out.
Ah, so it's your first time in town, huh? Well, I hope you enjoy your stay. And just let me know whenever you're ready to order, okay? I guess he's not acting like he's supposed to be here. I guess he's not acting like he's not supposed to be here.
Actually, I'm ready to order now, if that's alright.
Huh? Oh, sure. What'll it be?
Do you have anything virgin around here, and preferably sweet?
Virgin?
Yeah, you see, I can't handle alcohol very well.
Oh. Well, to be honest, I don't think I've had anyone ask that before. Well, I know you haven't, because you've worked here for one night, and you never took orders. But this is a non-linear game, probably, so they have to be careful. And, something gives me the strong impression that this isn't really a virgin type of place. Everyone's a huge whore. But sure, I'd be happy to go and ask about something made special for you if you'd like. We have, well water. I could put a potato in it. The young jackal nods appreciatively. Ah, we're using Pokemon species, but we're not saying anyone's actual Pokemon. I guess in Pokemon your species is a Pokemon, and not the thing you look like a dog. But we're using like Earth species. Ah, this is the same room at a different angle, isn't it? Yeah, it looks like the same things are in the same spots too. 'Cause I remember there being 2 pictures on the long counter and 2 on the short counter. So they could do multiple angles, so this saves time a bit, yeah. Let's see. A few minutes later, you come back holding a mug that's filled with a mixture of warmed milk, honey, lemon juice, and just a hint of ginger. I have no idea what that tastes like, and I kind of want to know. I like all of those things. Intuitively, mixing milk with stuff sounds a little weird, but I've been drinking more and more milk sodas from like Korea and stuff, and they're actually like kind of neat. Milk, honey, lemon, and ginger. Huh.
Here you go. The boss says he calls this one the Creamy Dream.
Uh-huh.
Whoa, that looks so good.
He throws it back eagerly in front of you, licking the tip of his wet nose after getting some of it splashed across his muzzle with each swig. I can't burp on command, as much as people have accused me of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely coming back for more of this. My name's Niall, by the way. And someday, I will be one of the greatest adventurers this land's ever seen.
Oh, so you are an adventurer then?
Well, duh. That's only the big reason why everyone's coming to this town in droves, you know. Besides, adventuring is just the life. Uncovering long-lost treasures, fighting monsters, becoming instantly famous enough to have every guy either want to be you or just plain want you.
Yep. not quite virgin. I've realized that they've introduced the somewhat upsetting plot element that you might sleep with somebody in this game and then they might just die and then never show up again. You know, they've introduced that people can die of this. You're like, hang on a minute, whoa, I don't think I've ever thought of it quite like that.
You should totally give it a try sometime. See how well it suits you. Oh, and hey, what's your name again?
It's Fen.
Fen. Okay, got it. I'll be sure to keep an eye.
But there, well, that would have been really useful 20 seconds ago. Came out of nowhere.
I'll be sure to keep an eye out for you on the Adventurers Guild Renown board, just in case you ever happen to rise up in the ranks. You never know.
Adventure Guild.
Oh, you never heard of it? The branch in Felda has been around for quite a while now, I think. I joined the guild myself late last year, and ever since then, each day I set out on the road's been chock full of new wonders. It's like there's no telling what might be waiting for me just over the next hill, you know?
You spend a short while more making idle talk like this with the young patron before going back to the other tables. After you finish serving him the rest of his order, you realize that some of the excitement and good cheer must have been infectious. A subtle yet happy mood settles into you throughout the rest of the shift. In fact, it kind of makes you want to try challenging yourself to see if you can serve the next dozen customers in half time. And you succeed. Although needless to say, Gunther isn't all impressed that it took you messing up almost half the orders to do it. Whoops. Bond unlocked. Here comes a new challenger. So you can't scroll, right? Nope, so it's just these three. So I definitely wonder what species this guy is. I'm gonna check that. You move up to serve this man whom you saw stride into the tavern, armed with a sword at his hip. I don't know what he is. And I don't know if he's a samurai Pokemon or a Pokemon they've chosen to make a samurai, because obviously everyone just has jobs anyway. In particular, I'm wondering if those shoulder things are part of his design or not. He looks like a wolf. I thought I knew all the Pokemon wolves. Let's see. Blue Pokemon wolf. I typed blue Pokemon wolf and the game gave me Lucario. I guess I should have expected that on some level. Oh, and then the legendary's last game were blue Pokemon wolves. That's also unhelpful. Mangetsu, Pokemon Umbra. That looks like it's a fake Pokemon from one of the fan games. I'm not getting any results. I have no idea what he is. I'm not a big Pokemon fan. I enjoyed the Pokemon influence on furries and a lot of characters and art that comes from that. In fact, a friend of mine that I've roomed with at FWA is full perp does the that whole comic series that has Obstagoon, Lycanroc, and oh god, what's the big guy called? See, I'm a fake fan. I just like the art that comes out of it. I played Yellow and then Silver and then skipped all the way to watching Stephanie play Sword for a series. Like, you can play it. I don't really care about Pokemon. I just want to see all the creature designs, but don't really want to play the game. Like, I'm not super big on JRPGs. I'm not against turn-based combat, but specifically Pokemon's brand of like, here's 4 moves total, and it's also like rapidly descending difficulty, and usually not a story I would care about, and so on. I'm like, there's just like not much to grab me in Pokemon, and just collecting monsters has never been enough to make me play any particular game. That's never sold me on any franchise. It's like how I like Monster Hunter a lot, and I like the monsters in Monster Hunter, but the monsters in Monster Hunter could never make me play Monster Hunter if I didn't like Monster Hunter's gameplay itself. He's dressed in the style of this loose-fitting clothing, which you don't believe you've ever seen before. What? I mean, multiple people have been basically not wearing clothes at all. And you've seen the same, like, Fundoshi dude with the Zigzagoon a minute ago. But he's in a samurai getup. And in case you couldn't tell that, the music is making sure you know exactly what's going on here. Does his sword not have a... Huh. His sword doesn't have a hilt. Is it the right word for it? Yeah, because that part's the grip. The hilt is the little part. No. Wrong word, I think. It doesn't have a guard. There's nothing sticking out. That's interesting. His physique is incredibly well defined, which makes him stand out to you even more. Because you're gay, homosexual, gay. Up until now, he was just looking absently around, seeming to just be getting a feel about the place. When you approach within a certain distance of the table, however, his piercing gaze locks eyes with you. It makes you suddenly tense up a bit, though you don't know why. He doesn't make any effort to start up a conversation with you, so you know that you'll be the one who has to. Welcome to the Flaming Flagon, sir. Can I help you with anything tonight? All that you hear is the sound of him exhaling through his nostrils before he twists his body around in the chair he's sitting in. After almost a hard minute of silence between the two of you, he finally answers. Where road going that way? He waves over to one side of the tavern that you want to believe is east. Back out of Felda, I think. Come to think of it, you actually don't know the layout of the town you're in, much less the surrounding area. You wouldn't even know if you're a local from somewhere far away, like this man is probably. A local or from somewhere far away. Okay, I was like, that sounded weird. Despite your half-hearted answer, though, the stranger lets out a grunt in satisfaction. He seems ready to give you his undivided attention, and pridefully points a thumb at himself. Odachi, I samurai, you know, sword fighter. He brings his well-defined arms together into a grip and makes a swinging gesture for you, as if practicing with an invisible blade. Nice to meet you, Odachi. My name's Fen. I just started working here recently. I'd love to hear more about just what being a samurai is about. Can I get you anything to drink in the meantime? A mug of beer, maybe? Beer? You find it cute how he tries to pronounce the word with 2 syllables and doesn't send out the R. A small chuckle barely leaves your muzzle, and you hope he doesn't get the wrong idea, like you're making fun of him. That is drink, yes? Okay. Yes, I would like 1 beer. He gives you the coin out of his bag to pay for it, and you return with a chilled mug of the stuff. So it'd be like beru or something. I'm trying to think of like how he thinks he pronounced it. Odachi graciously takes it from you using both his hands, giving a subtle bow of his head as he does so. That wasn't much of a bond. I mean, I guess it unlocks an unlock, but like, we didn't really learn much. They are a samurai. The end. It's closing time. The last wave of customers have taken their leave. That wasn't so bad, right? It was not easy, but you feel like you're getting better at it. Keep it up. You'll get handy at it in no time. Thought he said you'll get a handy in no time. Max action points increased. Oh, so next night will be longer then. So maybe you can scroll next time. Otherwise, you just get to hang out with everybody, and there's not really not much in the way of choices. You decide to have some drinks tonight as a treat. Once done, you feel refreshed and relaxed. Climbing into bed, you fall asleep almost at once. That's an extremely goofy scene. So one arrow implies that you have like the sleeping snot bubble that they draw expanding and contracting. The other one was an arrow saying that your tail is wagging in your sleep. So you just a very, very happy Arcanine. Well, at this point, who needs to remember your past life? I mean, it's not going to be helpful. Everything's great now. Screw it. All right, that's going to be the Flaming Flagon for today. You can look it up on itch.io if you are an adult. You can also check out the link in the description for the playlist for a whole lot more previews of a whole lot more furry visual novel Let's Tries, of which I've now covered so many that I don't even know what an accurate estimate would be, but they're all in there. Only the occasional surprise other game mixed in. I've pretty much just been covering these days. I kind of got tired of covering all the indie games that show up in my email inbox and that whole mixed bag, so I kind of just started doing all these, and I kind of thought I would have run out sooner, and instead, it's an infinitely expanding fractal nightmare where there are infinite furry visual novels. Sincerely, an incredible number on that website. Holy crap. And I'm about to contribute one to myself. In fact, I already made the page for my visual novel. It's just private, so you can only get to it by a secret link. But I'm going to have my own visual novel linked, launched by... maybe not by the time the next week's episode comes out. I think that will still be in November. But yeah, it's coming up. That's stressful. And then I guess I'll play my own visual novel. That'll be neat. If you're watching this in December or later, check out the game Since November. It will not be the tone of this game, though, so change your expectations accordingly. I'll see you guys next time.